chasing somebody.
What's going on?
A special and emotional edition of Be Our Change, remembering we are West Texas strong.
Oh my God, he's fixing to shoot. Oh, get down.
This is a community that pulled over and stopped their cars and ran into the sound of gunshots to help us.
A mass shooting killing 7 people, injuring 25 more, including 3 law enforcement officers.
He brought so much damage, destruction, and heartbreak to this community. Why would you give him any notoriety at all? I absolutely disagree with speaking his name.
In this special show, we choose to focus on paying tribute to the victims, hearing from the loved ones of those who lost their lives, and reflecting on those last moments.
¿Por qué te hicieron esto? ¿Qué te hicieron, mijo? What did they do to you? She touched his hand, just kind of caressed his hand, and he was gone.
We also hear from the survivors and honor the long list of heroes.
We felt the arms of our community around us, during the event and after the event.
You need to express to your loved ones how much you love them and know that at any moment they could be taken.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Quintero at Odessa's Central Fire Station. The firefighters and paramedics here among the heroes that day. We begin with an inspiring story of a child seriously injured.
I would not have wanted to live through that tragedy in any other community, because this was a community that supported us from the second it happened.
A year later, the memories of that painful and tragic day still fresh for Kelby Davis.
This is a community that pulled over and stopped their cars and ran into the sound of gunshots to help us.
The Odessa mother takes us back. It was a typical Saturday for the Davis family. They were headed over to a friend's house. Dad Garrett was driving, Mom Kelby in the passenger seat, and the twins Anderson and Rhett, who were just 17 months old at the time, were riding in rear-facing car seats. They planned to stop at Market Street on their way and hit a stoplight at 42nd Street and JBS Parkway in Odessa, when suddenly the day took an unexpected and horrible turn.
I remember just kind of ducking my head once I heard the shots. Kelby immediately jumped back to check the kids, and that's when she saw that Anderson was bleeding.
She was just covered from head to her lap, just covered in blood. And I just started screaming, she's been shot, Anderson's been shot.
I was just kind of numb to it. I was so confused.
I looked down and there were a bunch of just clean diapers on the floor, and so I just started picking diapers up and just putting them on her chest, putting them on her mouth, just trying to do whatever I could to stop the bleeding.
The Davises say they never saw the gunman, but turns out he shot a bullet through the back of their vehicle.
The shrapnel hit my daughter Anderson in the chest and then in the mouth. And when it hit her in the mouth, it just lodged in the chest wall. But when it went through her mouth, it went through her bottom lip and knocked out her teeth and burned through her tongue.
Their nightmare continued. Young Anderson in pain, crying for help. Her parents felt helpless. They tried calling 911 more than a dozen times.
Due to the panic of the city, we were never able actually to get through to 911.
But in their panic, a moment that can only be described as fate, Brad Reese and Kellen Foreman with Odessa Fire and Rescue just so happened to be at a nearby restaurant.
These 2 men, truly angels, that I truly believe God sent.
God works in mysterious ways.
Where a lot of people, and I don't blame them, I might have been one of those people, stayed in the restaurant that day when they heard gunshots. Brad and Kellen chose to run towards the gunshots when they didn't have to. They weren't on duty.
Then another hero enters the picture. Odessa Fire and Rescue Captain Jason Cotton. He stopped an ambulance who had another mass shooting victim, so little Anderson could be transported to the hospital as well.
But he just kept screaming, help the baby, help the baby. The baby needs you more than I do. The baby needs you more than I do. And
Kelby doesn't know the name of that victim, just that he wanted her baby to have priority despite his severe injuries. These parents have a long list of heroes. Heroes they say they can't thank enough.
I want people to remember all the good that our first responders and our police did that day.
Ready? I swing with you. Ready? One.
This family attributes their faith for helping them move forward, and Kelby also talked about forgiveness.
Are you strong? That shooter was once a baby. That shooter was once a little boy, and I laid there in that hospital room, and I held my little girl that night, and I pray my children grow up to know God and to love God and just be good humans. That is the number one thing I pray for my children, to grow up loving God and be a good human. But at some point along the way, that didn't happen for that little boy. He grew up to do a very, very evil thing that took people's lives and devastated families and just took so much from so many people. But anger, hate, no heart. My heart's broken for him. My heart's broken for his family.
While it's still difficult to discuss, the Davis family stresses they have so much to be thankful for. Anderson is now 2 years old.
You ready? Hang on tight. You got it?
And there's her twin brother, Rhett, who was riding next to her during this terrible ordeal. Their parents believe they were too young to remember what happened.
I'm just so proud of her because she's been a trooper through all the surgeries and everything she's gone through.
I think you should use those feelings to help spread awareness and to help spread kindness and help use your story to help others.
The Davis family is certainly doing just that. We also had a chance to talk with the 3 firefighters in Little Anderson's story, the ones they call heroes.
We all have a job to do. We love what we do. We don't think we're heroes. We just have a job to do, and we take care of people the best we can.
We went out to help people just like everybody in that area did. There were a lot of heroes that day all over Odessa and Midland, so I think we were just one of many that did what we could to help who we could.
To me, there was nothing about being heroes that day. It was just doing what we're trained to do.
Another hero, a Midland police officer injured. One of 3 law enforcement officers shot that day. Here's video of Zach Owens being released from the hospital last September. Officer Owens was shot multiple times in the arm and hand. He also received treatment on his eye. Fortunately, these days, he's back at work and also has a new canine by the name of Rex.
I've said this before, but I can't thank anybody, or everybody enough, I should say. I can't thank everybody enough. Last year was a tough year for us. This department had a dark cloud over it. It was tough. That's a tough year to bounce back from. But we gotta do it. We'll work every day as hard as we can, and we're gonna keep doing what we do. So thank everybody for all the support. I mean, this has been awesome.
Meanwhile, Midland Police Chief Seth Herman got emotional during our interview when talking with us about what he wants people to remember and reflect on 1 year later.
Things happen very rapidly, and you need to express to your loved ones how much you love them, and know that at any moment they can be taken.
As you can see, Chief Herman got candid during our interview. He stressed their focus is protecting people in our community. And now on to an emotional reunion between a victim and his rescuers. Our Jian Kim joins us now with this heartwarming story. Jian, you were a part of the reunion. What was that moment like?
It was raw, it was emotional, and it was heartfelt. A full year has passed since fate brought them together on that day, but all 3 of them tell me they never stopped searching for one another.
We were at the right place at the right time, and we were fortunate to help Effie out.
3 different fates intertwined by a shared tragedy.
Never did we ever expect that something like this would ever take place here in Midland.
Even after a full trip around the sun, for them, the sights, the sounds, simmer in their minds like it was yesterday.
There's no day that goes by that I don't think about it. What I experienced is something I will never wish for my enemy.
Efe Obaya.
Be Our Change. positive, inspirational stories.
It takes you, it takes me, it takes everyone out there doing their part to be our change.
Headlines can be difficult to hear.
The coronavirus,
11 new cases of COVID-19,
riots, protesting.
Our show is filled with uplifting stories. Stories of people making a difference.
But we still ask those questions you want to know.
We've laid off and furloughed countless people.
Oil jobs ripped away from hardworking West Texans.
Do you want to be the victim or the hero?
Some special bracelets for a good cause.
After we lost her, I felt completely lost.
An Odessa woman's fight to help those with Alzheimer's.
We love him unconditionally.
And a heartwarming virtual adoption for an Odessa family.
Thanks for joining us for Be Our Change. I'm Monica Quintero at the Permian Basin Petroleum Museum in Midland.
And I'm Eddie Flores at a patriotic landmark in Odessa, the Chris Kyle Memorial Plaza.
I'm Erin Reynolds at another beautiful site in Midland, the Tall City Mural. And I'm Jian Kim out here at a popular spot in downtown Odessa. Even our Longhorn is wearing a mask and social distancing these days.
As you can see, we're all around the basin and we'll also be showcasing our area. Be Giving. We begin with two nonprofits working to help struggling oilfield families stay afloat.
We have a lot of folks that are in need right now.
We all look out for each other. We all try to take care of each other.
This is probably the worst our generation has seen for sure.
My entire family is in this industry.
The oil industry is seeing a dark time.
It's devastating.
Devastating as workers continue to ride into an uncertain future.
Somehow, some way, we always bounce back.
People are oftentimes too proud to ask for help. That's what we're here for, to lend a helping hand.
While they're helping others, they're still willing to answer those tough questions regarding the oil industry, the ones about money. When the boom is occurring, they're making big bucks. So some may ask, why do they need help? They went through times they were making lots and lots of money. Did they not save for a rainy day? Or what would your response be to those kinds of people?
So I get asked that a lot. We have a double hit with COVID-19 and oil prices dropping. When you run into a family member getting sick or a child getting sick and you have a $50,000 Caraflight bill to Dallas or Lubbock or wherever, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have $50,000 sitting in my bank account.
Grimes says saving for oilfield families wasn't always easy with the cost of living here in West Texas. It's no secret we paid considerably higher gas prices, rents, and home prices in comparison to other parts of our state.
We've helped a lot of people pay their rent. That's all that they're asking for.
Both groups have seen the booms and busts and say it takes everyone working together to ride out these difficult times.
If we all worked every day to help each other out, as a group, it would make a tremendous impact, especially here, especially now in the Permian Basin.
We do have such a giving community. Here at the Permian Basin Petroleum Museum in Midland, it is rich in history. This is called the Oil Patch. It's an exhibit dedicated to the workers of the oil fields. You'll even find equipment here from the 1920s and 1930s on the museum's 40-acre outdoor exhibit area. You'll also find drilling rigs and other important information.
Patriotism runs deep in our community, and as a veteran myself, it's an honor to see these kinds of tributes. The Chris Kyle Memorial Plaza in Odessa honors the slain Navy SEAL and American sniper. He was born here in 1974. Kyle was killed in 2013 at a Texas shooting range. His autobiography was the basis for the 2014 film American Sniper, starring Bradley Cooper. All eyes have been on the skies as numerous special flights have flown over the basin. They're meant to honor our frontline heroes, including this one. Not long ago, by the Commemorative Air Force High Sky Wing, organizers say this is a way to bring people together. That flight was called the Salute to the Spirit of West Texas. Time now to toss it over to Jiyeon Kim, and she is at a special, well-known spot in Odessa.
That's right, Eddie. This longhorn is 10 feet tall, and someone put a mask on this iconic statue to encourage others to social distance.
The city of Odessa posting a photo on Facebook of it with the caption, "Don't be a stubborn old bull, wear a mask." The mask was made by resident Lisa Anderson. She and her husband Scott also placed them on some of the jamboree rabbits.
Be an overcomer. An Odessa family had to overcome many obstacles to make one little boy a part of their family.
I'm signing the order. It's granted, including the name change. He is yours. Congratulations.
A new chapter of the Story family's saga begins.
My mom passed away after surgery. In June, we did balloon release for her.
On the balloon, we put P.S. If he's redheaded, that'll be great. And sure enough, Christopher's redheaded.
And just like that, their prayers were heard. Within 3 weeks of their plea to heaven, they began their journey to Christopher.
My grandmother had to take custody of him at birth at the hospital, and she raised him until September. When he was 17 months old is when we started fostering him.
The road to adoption wasn't always easy, and along the way, curveballs they never saw coming.
When COVID hit, that's when it became real stressful.
And then we got a call one day that we were going to be able to do it over Zoom.
He tells me every day that he's happy. He says, "Mama, I'm happy." And we love him unconditionally. And loving him comes very naturally.
After 7 months of waiting, more waiting, and then some more, the couple says they're just relieved.
It just makes you very emotional. You know, just all the love you feel for the little guy.
Today it's official. He's ours, and
nobody can take him away.
Nobody can take him away.
Congratulations to them. What an amazing story.
Be creative. The Tall City mural is certainly that, and it displays several things the Permian Basin is known for. The oil and gas industry being Texas proud, as well as George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush. Keep Midland Beautiful unveiled the mural last year. The unique mural is located at Volunteer Park on Big Spring Street in Midland. As we continue our inspirational news, one local woman saw the devastation of Alzheimer's firsthand, but she took that emotional pain and is using it to transform lives. Many of us hold close memories of amazing places we've seen, memories of loved ones, and memories of happy times. But imagine, all of that wiped out.
On a good day, there might be some memories still there, and then a bad day, she had no idea who we were.
Julie Gray grew up extremely close to her grandmother, Angie.
She helped raise me. When I was growing up, it was just her and my mom and myself.
Gray helped take care of her grandmother for 15 years before she passed away from Alzheimer's 2 years ago.
I just felt completely lost, and I wanted to be able to channel those feelings back into our community and those that are suffering.
And she has certainly done just that. Gray had volunteered with the Alzheimer's Association before. She now manages the West Texas Walk to End Alzheimer's, a group that raises money for research to find a cure for the disease and still provides resources amidst the COVID-19 pandemic.
Just because we have this extra layer with COVID-19 doesn't mean we're going to stop. We're going to fight even harder right now to make for sure that those most vulnerable are being able to be taken care of.
There is a 24/7 hotline for help, and that number is 1-800-272-3900.
3, 2, 1.
We told you earlier about Oilfield Helping Hands. The nonprofit also teamed up with a local photographer to make a difference.
People come together in good times and bad, up and down.
Because of COVID-19, James Durbin started the Permian Porch Campaign. The project is simple. Schedule a front porch photo shoot, practice social distancing, and donate to
Be Our Change. positive, inspirational stories.
Cancer can't steal everything, and I can assure you that it did not steal Kayla's joy, her determination, her influence.
Kind like Kayla, a local woman leaves behind quite the legacy.
You just got to realize it's for a higher purpose and that you're giving this platform for a reason and that other people always have it worse, so it could be worse.
An Odessa man's journey in life hasn't been easy. His simple message meant to inspire others.
You could call us crazy, or you could say we're taking advantage of the times we're living in right now.
A couple in our area taking a big risk and opening a gun store, even though there's been a shortage of guns and ammunition.
We go all over the United States, all over the world. We've had presidents.
We highlight a local organization that's been making a difference for decades. Get ready to get a dose of inspiration. Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Quintero. We begin with an emotional story of a woman here in the Basin who lost her battle to breast cancer. But her family and friends say her strong faith and kindness never wavered. Our Jiyoung Kim has that touching story.
You know what? You know, Kayla never really needed to hear anything from me except I love you. So I love you, Kayla G.
It's been nearly 4 months without their kind Kayla.
Our moments were short-lived where she was determined or deemed cancer-free. And so I think that's certainly the most disappointing thing. You hope.
After valiantly fighting metastatic breast cancer for over 2 years, Kayla G. Knox leaves behind a confetti trail of her legacy.
She truly was unique, and now looking back, I can see things from even when she was a young girl. She's just always made me better.
Her 2 children, a living testament to her character. Friends and family say Kayla's kindness and strong faith lives on through them.
Her children especially, because I feel like when I'm around them, I get a little piece of her.
Ellen Smith, a sister in Christ.
God didn't give me a sister by blood, but he gave me her.
She says it's Kayla's unconditional support she misses most.
Not really, but you know.
To honor her late best friend, she launched the Kind Like Kayla movement on social media.
Blessing people with random acts of kindness, as well as going and visiting our website that is the Kind Like Kayla shop, where we're selling t-shirts and cups and bags and all kinds of merchandise that not only honors Kayla, but also is a reminder for people to seek out early detection.
All proceeds will benefit Pink the Basin and local organizations that bring awareness to breast cancer. The Kind Like Kayla movement will kick off on Kayla's birthday, October 13th, and continue through World Kindness Day on November 13th.
However far that initiative goes, I think is noble, and I know it would bring Kayla great joy to see other people helped.
We love you, Kayla!
Be an overcomer. Meet a local man who was partially paralyzed as a baby. Despite his struggles, he now sees it as a blessing and a way to encourage others.
My family was coming home from a grocery store run, and a drunk driver ran the stop sign and struck our family vehicle. I was 5 months at the time, and in my car seat, which I was ejected from, they found me lodged between the windshield and the dashboard. I'm paralyzed from the knees down.
His message is simple: adapt and achieve.
I feel like it gave me the platform here and it made me who I am today.
Adam Lucio works as a unit director for the Headley Boys and Girls Club in West Odessa. In his spare time, he speaks on adaptive inclusion, overcoming adversities, and chasing your goals.
Everybody sees my chair as maybe an impediment or an anchor that's holding me down, when it's actually a vessel that provides me the tools to get around and do anything I want to. Trying to change that narrative and change the stigma.
He's also a competitor in wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, as well as 10K and marathon racing against local able-bodied runners.
Sexism, genderism, racism, all these things are really big controversial issues right now, but nobody really talks or speaks up about ableism. And the disabled community is just as much segregated sometimes in front of our very own eyes.
His hope to raise awareness.
Some places are still inaccessible. There are still restaurants around town that I don't go to because I can't fit in those restrooms. No matter what kind of obstacle or adversity you're going through, life always has another route. It might be a little bit more difficult, but it's completely possible as long as you adapt and achieve.
Something else exciting, a prestigious award. Lucio's Boys and Girls Club received Ector County ISD's Business Community Partnership Award for all of Texas. A couple here in the Basin taking a big risk. The coronavirus pandemic has brought with it a shortage of firearms and ammunition. Still, a new gun store recently opened in Andrews. It's located on the 300 block of Southwest 1st Street. We had a chance to talk with the owners of Dunbar Firearms to get a perspective.
There's no gain without risk, so that's kind of just how we felt about starting it.
It's nerve-wracking in general just to do something on this scale as a first-time business owner myself. Fortunately, the coronavirus situation that we're in right now has actually helped the gun industry. So you could call us crazy, or you could say we're taking advantage of the times we're living in right now.
We've actually had a lot of people come and tell us, knowing that the market is really up for gun sales, that it's a great time to open a gun store, what an awesome time, but it's kind of a double-edged sword right now because the market is up so much. It is a lot harder to get his hands on certain firearms, certain ammunition.
The pandemic did push back the opening of the store. Dunbar Firearms had planned to open earlier this year. They take giving to new levels. Our Marco Ramirez has more on the mission of a local organization.
For over 80 years, the Odessa Chuck Wagon Gang has served countless communities their old-fashioned barbecue.
It's about us getting together and doing things to help other people.
Many say it's the close-knit relationship within the organization that keeps them coming back.
We're ambassadors for we say Odessa, but also the Permian Basin. Texas. And Texas, yeah. And we've got members that live in Midland, live here, some that are still members, but they live somewhere else. Yeah, it's very unique.
And every member of the Chuck Wagon Gang plans to keep doing their part for years to come.
We're carrying on a tradition, and we're doing stuff those guys started in 1940, and here we are in 2020, still carrying on that tradition. Right. And it's just a powerful thing to think about what we're doing still after all these years.
What an incredible group. Thanks, Marco, for that report. There are currently 112 members. A local church has also been giving to help the West Texas Food Bank. Our Jake Eichstead has more on what it means to the volunteers.
During the pandemic, help for organizations like the West Texas Food Bank has been unpredictable. Volunteers' time, money, and resources have run thin. But the Church of Latter-day Saints has been consistent in their help.
They have been one of the very few groups that have been volunteering with us throughout the whole pandemic. To have a group that you can trust to be leaders and to boost morale and come in with a smile no matter what, that's really something special.
The church's consistency comes from controlling the entire process. This work will help provide 71,000 meals to West Texans.
The food we're working with came from our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, from Deseret Industries up in Salt Lake City, Utah. And what they do is our church has a huge charity program, and we go and they help out I think the last records we've helped out about 180 countries during this pandemic with food, supplies,